I'm going to start sharing some slides that Susana and I are going to take you through, and then I think it'll be no more than like 10 minutes, right? Is how we designed it so that we can have plenty of time for Q&A and any questions you have, certainly about the doctoral consortium, and then broader questions about USASBE as well. So I'm going to do that and kick it off. Everyone can hopefully see my screen. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right. So we are heading to Las Vegas for this year's USASBE meeting, and the doctoral consortium will be there as well. Here's what we're going to chat about, like I said, for about 10 minutes or so. Susana and I will do a quick introduction of ourselves in a minute, and then we'll take you through the benefits of the USASBE Doctoral Consortium, some idea of the sessions there as well. The timing, it's on-site, it's online, it's both. Idea and more detail about the application, then we'll have some time for Q&A. So I'm going to go to this slide. Susana, is there anything I forgot? Anything you want to say, and then you can introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about your teaching and research and other things, and we'll get going.
Okay. Thank you, Andrew. So happy to be here with you, echoing also what we heard about this initiative. Myself, I was in the doctoral consortium at USASBE many years ago. I don't want to say too many, but but looking back, I think like I was like in 2012, I would say. And it's such an amazing resource, such an amazing platform to meet other colleagues, to meet other scholars. So I've been involved in USASBE for a couple of years now, in such a great community of people. I'm currently a faculty member at FSU. I moved here in January. I'm originally from Europe, the best European country, and you might be thinking about any wrong answers, but I'll tell you the correct answer is Portugal. That's my hometown. And I moved from Portugal to the US about 9 years ago. So thinking about, doing your PhD and your career, what comes next, and how things change along the way. Maybe we'll have time to have some more insights on that. But I've been a faculty member already, so happy to be here. I teach a lot of entrepreneurship classes related to the mindset. That's really where I feel more passionate about. Talking more about research, I do research on entrepreneurship under conditions of adversity. So thinking about how entrepreneurship can be a mechanism to help people who are poor or who are in any hard moments. And excited to chat with you, and hopefully you will be joining us this year. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Susana. And folks, it's nice to meet all of you. I'm Andrew Corbett. I'm a professor of entrepreneurship at Babson College, just down the road from UMass Lowell. So shout out to the other Massachusetts person in the crowd here. I've been at Babson for a dozen years now. Prior to that, I was at RPI for a while. I too have been involved with USASBE for a long time. I have the pleasure currently to sit on the board of the organization. Like Susana, I was in the doctoral consortium, but it was even longer ago. So I'm definitely not going to talk about when that was. I teach across the spectrum of entrepreneurship courses, and teach an entrepreneurial mindset course as well. A startup venture course, an intensive course where we actually launch businesses, and a couple of other organizational and corporate entrepreneurship courses as well. And that's where my research lies. My research at the start was around opportunity recognition, corporate entrepreneurship, cognition, and mindset, and a whole lot of entrepreneurship education these days as well, because I think that's been an area that's been neglected over the years. There's only a handful of people, really good people, doing work in that area, and I think more of us need to be doing it, but that's just my perspective. So anyway, welcome. Let's get right to it. Susana, maybe, I put the slide here on the benefits, but maybe you can tell us what you think about when I say, what's the best thing about going to a doctoral consortium at USASBE? Like, what's the takeaway? What are the big things that you remember getting, and what are the benefits for folks?
Absolutely. So I think the benefits are really to meet people, right? You're going to meet other PhD students who are just where you are coming from different contexts. So that connection that you make with your peers is wonderful. And I can say I still do research with other colleagues, with other people that I've met. So that peer-to-peer connection is very important, not only with your other PhD students, but also with the other scholars, mentors, and so on. So one of the most amazing things I think about this initiative is that, you read all the books and all the papers from those big names like Heidi Neck, and the trio, and all of those names, and then they are real people. They are super nice, and and you find yourself working with them. So I think that beyond the content, beyond getting access to many brilliant ideas of exercises, resources, and so on, that you can learn those connections, that network is the essence, and that's going to be what you will need to make yourself happy during your career.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I was just speaking. I was not
No, you got
going
it.
through your points, but
no, that you're right on. And Susana wonderfully encapsulates what it is. If you look at the 4 points in red there on the slide, sure, it's about making us all better by helping us with pedagogical design, right? So you're going to learn from others and together as a group about how do we do great, how do we create great experiences for our students. So you're going to learn how to teach entrepreneurship better. You're certainly going to get insights to help you on your research as well. So whether that's research in broad areas of entrepreneurship or on entrepreneurship education, right? Whatever it is, what you're doing. So you'll be, exposed to those things in actual sessions. But Susana has it right. It's the two on the bottom that are the most important. You're going to develop a network of peers, people at the same point as you, but you're also going to develop a network and meet people, senior people in the field, people in the field that are interested in the same things you are, and you're going to build a network, and that's what you're going to come from. And come away with, and most importantly, it helps you develop who you want to be as a scholar. Many of you are at a tipping point, some people first year, some second, some getting close to finish. You can be successful as an entrepreneurship scholar in myriad ways. And the question is, what is it for you? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be as a scholar? There are different ways to be successful depending on what path you want to take. And this will help you figure that out, right? Sessions, these are, not set in stone, just so you know, like Susana and I will work this out depending on who we know is going to be in Las Vegas and who can help us with these different sessions, but it's exactly these kind of things. So this is just more of a detail on what we just said, right? This is the nuts and bolts, the actual sessions that you'll get around things like developing those great experiences in the classroom, networking for yourself to figure out, again, what kind of scholar you want to be, writing for scholarly publication. How do we assess, right? The worst job of the professor, the only thing most of us don't like at all, everything else is good, is grading. So how do you design assessments, and how do you do it? All of these things, and then you'll see project development, because you're going to be on a team. We're going to put you in teams, and you're going to work on a project as part of the consortium as well. So that's what the sessions look like. Here's what we got for you. This is the sort of the cadence and what it's going to look like. As you know, the meeting is February 12th through the 15th in Las Vegas. The primary day, and I pointed out this, the primary day for us is the doctoral consortium will happen on the 13th. That's Thursday the 13th in Vegas. But, you know, you'll get pieces and there'll be other things that we'll set up little meetings, and maybe I was thinking a breakfast thing on the Friday after. So we're going to stay connected and network, even though the primary content is on the 13th. We'll meet probably in early February. It could be late January. Once people are accepted, we'll have a Zoom session previous to going to Las Vegas. And then we're following up with post-conference sessions where we'll continue to deliver some content, and we'll do project check-ins, and then a final delivery of your project at the end. And those projects will be on, Susana and I said, like a pedagogical research project, right? We're really looking at, in a team, will you develop an idea and work together on developing a research paper around entrepreneurship education? Will you develop a learning innovation? And we'll give you more detail on that at the time. Quickly, the application process. When you go online to USASBE, to the prompt, you'll see we want everybody to deliver a single PDF. And it's not overly burdensome, as you can see here. 2 pages first on number 1, which is just a single page personal statement about why you want to be in the doctoral consortium. Second page, just some bullets on career issues and things you'd like to know more about. A short bio, number 2, your current CV, a letter of recommendation from your doctoral program director or a professor, and then a single-page statement of your teaching philosophy and research interests. So relatively common things that, you know, we all have to do on that. So with that, I said 10 minutes, and I think we probably were, Susana, about 10 minutes. So I am going to stop sharing, and I'm going to
let's open for questions.
Yeah, and open it up for questions. So let me just get out of there, and we'll open it up for questions, and we'll go from there. So questions from folks, anything about content, what we're going to do. Maybe people have questions about the project, what that actually looks like, or questions about the application process.
Yeah, or if you are thinking about any specific topic that you would like to see, or you want to learn more about it, that you have now in hand. I don't know how many of you are doing teaching while you are doing your PhD. So any comments?
So I will unmute and just ask a question. So thank you, Andrew and Susana. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm just kind of thinking to my individual kind of situation. So I'm currently in an administrative role at the Center for Health Innovation and Entrepreneurship. So I'm not in a, you know, full-on faculty role or a teaching, you know, role. Every once in a while, I kind of do one-off teaching when it comes to the I-Core Innovation Core, you know, program that we utilize. But that's probably the extent. And so I think part of my struggle, and maybe why I joined today's call, is to understand if, you know, joining the consortium helps people who are in similar roles like me and have, you know, such a diverse, you know, background, you know, trying to articulate what does a future pedagogy look like. And so I'll pause and see if that is something that you run across with other people.
Hard question, so I think Andrew should answer.
No, there you go. Hey, good move.
No,
That's good.
But
I think it's a great question, and will you get benefit? For sure. And I think you get benefit from being at USASBE, because there are tons of people. We have center directors. I mean, that's a lot of people that will be there. That's for 2 reasons. One, so many of us who are faculty members in traditional faculty roles, we might also be a faculty director that assists in a center. But then our counterparts, who are the actual center directors in some case, will be there. So there will be a lot of people like you in your role at the broader meeting. So for sure, I think USASBE is a place you should be coming to. Now, for the doctoral consortium, yeah, if you're not teaching as much, it may not have that level of direct benefit for you, but I would say that it will be very beneficial, because if you're ever teaching at all, and if you're probably doing some maybe co-curricular work, right? Maybe not real classes, but you're delivering co-curricular programming. Same principles, same things about designing good pedagogy you are going to come into effect. So I think you get great benefit from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. I think Andrew touched upon many points. I would just say that you will find in the doctoral consortium students that come from all spaces. So there's nothing just like students that only come from a typical PhD program. And I think that one clear advantage for you is that by growing through this experience, you're going to build your self-awareness and your story of why do you want one day to be probably teaching. So thinking about the future, if doing more, going specifically more for a career as a faculty member, I think the doctoral consortium can really help you to build that experience. So yeah, I think USASBE as a whole is wonderful, because you have people with so many roles, and also from so many fields as well.
Yeah, and the unique thing about the USASBE Doctoral Consortium is we really strive to have a balance around the research and teaching component. For those of you who have ever been to the Babson conference, right? That's a big entrepreneurship research conference. So it's not big, it's small, it's really great. But the consortium, and I've run the doctoral consortium a couple times at that meeting. It's research focused. Yeah, it's a little bit on teaching, a lot on career development to be sure, but it's research focused. And certainly at the Academy of Management, the doctoral consortium is dead on focused on research. Here, we do that, but we focus everything on research for the most part on entrepreneurship education and broader topics. And then there's a big thing about, teaching and developing unique ways to deliver pedagogy. So you'll find great benefit for sure, Merle. Other questions, anything on the application process, other things, as Susana said, that you might want to see and get that you didn't hear? Just feel free to unmute yourself and fire away.
Any thoughts? If you have hard questions, then you can answer. If you have easier, go them to me. Hey, Rebecca.
Hey, I do have a question, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Andrew. I was there this summer and did the C program, C51. So that was awesome. Definitely fun. And so I was wondering, as I'm looking into different doctoral consortiums, do you recommend applying to more than one and going to what you can, or should you be more focused and kind of keep your eyes on one in particular? I just don't know how that works.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think more is, in this case, is always better. You're going to meet more people, and so you can. So like Susana and I came from traditional PhD programs and backgrounds, and I was fortunate to be in a really good program that had a fair bit of socialization. Like my school and my advisor socialized us well into the profession. And I think that's a term you should think about for these things. This is a socialization process, the doctoral consortium. As Susana started us with, like, the big benefit is networking, getting to know people. So Rebecca, I would say the more, the better. If you go to the Academy of Management, yeah, apply to the doctoral consortium. If you're going to the Babson meeting, yeah, apply to the doctoral consortium, because you're going to meet more people. And each of them has a little bit different focus, but all of them at their foundation are going to get you socialized into the field, which is like, it's a huge part of this. The fact of the matter is we all go through doctoral programs. And if you just go through your doctoral program, do the work, do stuff, come out, and you're not socialized, you're kind of behind the 8 ball to get started. So the more of this you can do, the better.
Okay, I appreciate that. And that's what I was wondering. I asked my professors, because I see how they collaborate on papers and research. And I'm like, how did you meet these people? Like how, like they're way across on the other side of the world or another side of the US and they collaborate and do this amazing research together. And I was just wondering, how do they meet? And I figure it was at conferences, things like
conferences,
that.
yeah, conferences, absolutely. Conferences, going to talks, going to luncheons, happy hours, conferences. And again, I think one of the biggest lessons I had to myself is to, you know, people are so nice. People really want to help each other. People are super nice. So don't ever be shy for asking, for, you know, emailing, for checking in, because yeah, that's exactly how it works. And I did it, all of them. So I did like 4 or 5 different of them. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. I did those 3, you know, the Babson one, you know, if you're in entrepreneurship, you know, do the Babson one, the entrepreneurship division of the Academy, and USASBE for sure. And I think to that point, it's like the old saying, you know, birds of a feather flock together. And this is where you find the others, because and it's natural, Rebecca, in some ways. You know, it can be intentional and you can be like, wow, I really want to meet Susana, so I'm going to go there because I see her work. But otherwise, you go to a session because you're interested in it. Maybe you're working in that area. All of a sudden, you're sitting in a room with 20 or 25 people who are all interested in the same thing you are, including the people at the front of the room that are presenting. So that's just natural. And that's one of the reasons why, you know, post-COVID, we're making a strong push this year to make the consortium really more in Vegas, right? Coming out of COVID, we did a good portion of it online, but we know the real value of meeting people face to face, and that's how you develop your community, your network, your tribe. And so the majority of our interaction is going to be in Las Vegas.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you.
We
have maybe. Oh, sorry. I was just saying we have 1 more minute. So if anyone has any very quick question. Sonia, I met you through a conference, so this is a wonderful example. We met at the conference in April, and then we met again recently in August at the IOM. So hopefully I'll have you also next year at this conference. So I don't know if you have any questions, but just you know, someone that I met, and we have seen some questions about dates that we have already. Sonia, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any question right now, but I'm super excited because so far I was so much focus oriented. I don't know anything about teaching, so I think that's can be an amazing opportunity. So I'm really, and yes, and I'm an example about networking in conference.
Perfect.
Thank you to Brittany for putting right in there. So if you guys, anyone is still on, you can go look right in the chat there. The deadline for the application is in about a little under 2 months, and you can see the link there. And of course, if you don't get the link, you know, click on that, you don't get it before we shut down, you can just go to USASBE's website, correct, Brittany? And it's all, you can find it right there, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. So with that, we are on time. Happy to hang for another minute or two if somebody has another question, but otherwise we can let you go. So any other last questions? All right. Okay. I think that's a wrap. So thank you so much for coming today and being with us. Please do not hesitate beyond the application. If you have any questions around the Doctoral Consortium or USASBE in general, feel free to email me, feel free to email Susana, and we'd be happy to help you with anything at all. So have a great Friday afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and a great weekend. And we really look forward to seeing your applications, and we really look forward to seeing you in Las Vegas in February.
Thank you, everyone. So nice meeting you. Have a good weekend.
Take care.
Thank you.